means football.
Thank you so much for that introduction. Let me first say this is a great honor to share here today. Whenever you can get in the room with leaders and world changers and people that are impacting not only their businesses, their circles, but the community. And I'm a big fan of the Rotary Club. When I first took the job at Centenary, the first thing they told me, you got to go to the Rotary meetings and you got to talk to those people because they get things done. And so that's what I did. I went and I spoke at every Rotary Club meeting that gave me the invitation, and I enjoyed sitting there learning the principles of the club and the history. And one day I hope to be a member if someone invites me. And so earn the right. Maybe I can earn the right to be a Rotarian. But, it's an honor to stand here today. I'm going to speak briefly on a topic that's very important to me, and that's the power of service. Say that with me, please. The power of service. For me, when I think about service and the impact it's had on my life, it comes down to three powerful traits: helping, repairing, and becoming. These aren't just actions. They are transformational traits that shape how we live, how we lead, and how we leave a legacy. Let's break it down. When I was 17 years old, one of my first jobs was bussing tables here at the Petroleum Club. My daughter reminded me of that. And just a shy kid here, trying to make a little money over the summer. And I can never forget my first day on the job. The guy that was training me, the waiter, he said, your job is to carry the trays. Whenever we come out, we bring out tea and water. And I didn't understand it. And I'm just a football guy. But they would, just say if it's 6 people at the table, they would put 6 large glasses of water and 6 glasses, those same glasses right there, that's bad, top heavy. And they would say, carry this out to the table, and you have to balance it high on one hand like this. I'm a big guy, but I'm not built for that type of flexibility up top in my shoulder area. So I'm carrying it out there. My first day, a guy was an LSU fan. He said, you're Byron Dawson, man, nice to meet you. And I've been raised a certain way. So I leaned in to shake his hand, and it was Mr. Reynolds. I'll never forget the guy. And I just drowned in him. And man, he was done. He had to go home. It was over. All 6 teas and waters just drowned in Mr. Reynolds. And he was a great sport. He was a big Tiger fan. And so, but for like the next 5 years when I was at LSU, he would always just show up to the game like Waldo. He would just come out of nowhere. Hey, you remember me? I'm the guy you drowned at the Petroleum Club. And I was like, dude, I'm trying to put that behind me. Leave me alone. But we're walking down the Tiger Walk, the Tiger Stadium, and there he was. Hey, I'm the guy you drowned at the Petroleum Club. I said, okay, I know it's you. But in my life, that was my first mission of service. And I learned from that when you serve, you got to be serious. You have to take service serious. But, to think that I started out carrying the trays, and this is the 4th time this past year I've been able to stand behind this podium. So I was able to go from the tray to the podium. And it was because I had great people. I was very shy, insecure as a young man, and had a bad stuttering problem. But I had a teacher that served me. I had a speech therapist that served me. I had Miss Goree at Turner Middle School, my guidance counselor, that said, you can do great things. I had Dr. Karen at LSU, who was over media for us. He said, stop walking around looking mean all the time. You got $1 million smile. You need to use that smile. So those people served me, and they changed my life. So when you serve, you help people. That's the power of service. Don't think for 1 second that those little things that you do won't carry on and turn into some great things for the future for someone. You know, when I think about those traits, I think about kindness, belief, encouragement that comes from service. And that's what made a difference in my life. The first trait is helping. Everybody say helping. You know, helping is important. When you look at the definition of service, it means to help someone. You know, to help someone. You know, I can remember when I was a young man, Christmas was all about me. Then when I got kids, it became all about them. All right, what are we going to get for them? Now that I'm a little older, it's all about him. The real reason for the season. And how do we serve him? By serving others. So I think about, okay, it's not about what gifts you're going to get for me or what gifts I'm going to get for you, but who are we going to go out? Because the way I look at it, I see those Amazon boxes all the time. All right? It looks like you guys make Christmas all the time, and none of them are for me. I watch them on the camera. They try to run out there and grab them and run inside, but I got cameras on it. I know you guys are getting Christmas all the time. Let's take some of those things and let's go down to Goodwill. Let's go down to Salvation Army. Let's take things that are sitting up collecting dust and let's make a difference. Let's go out and help the Volunteers of America and Lighthouse and different groups in our city, the Rotary Club. And let's do some things to change lives. You know, that's what service is all about. That first trait is helping. You have the opportunity to help people. The second trait is repairing. Everybody say repairing. You know, if you look at the verb definition of service, it means to perform routine maintenance or repair work on something, like a vehicle or machine. Isn't that amazing? Now that sounds mechanical, but it's actually deep and personal. Service is the act of doing soul work. When you serve, you're doing work on your soul. It keeps your heart from getting hard. It lifts you up when you're low. It clears your perspective when life gets cloudy. If you're feeling stuck, tired, or discouraged, go do something good for someone else. Isn't that amazing? You know, somebody told me that a long time ago, if you're feeling down or depressed, go do something good for somebody else. No, I don't want to do nothing at all. But isn't it amazing how it calms you and how it gives you peace when you go and serve? It doesn't make sense on paper, but it works in practice. Because when you pour out, you're also filled up. That's the real power of service. It doesn't just fix situations, but it fixes us. It builds us up. It makes us stronger, and it keeps us running. You know, I had this older guy that told me, son, if you take that truck and you get oil change every 3,000 miles, and then you go every 30,000 miles and you do a tune-up on it, new spark plugs and stuff, you will never have problems out your truck. I've had 3 trucks that I never had to take to the shop one time because I learned that principle a long time ago. Every 3,000 miles, every 30,000 miles, oil change, tune-up. You know, it's amazing. My godmother is 97 years old, Miss Laura Timmerlake. She gets up in the morning, she works out every day for 2.5 hours. She's got a workout group. She's 97 going on 65. This lady doesn't age. It's pretty amazing how she gets around. And she grows her own vegetables in her backyard. And she serves her community. I want you to think about it. She gets up every morning. She trains every day of the week. She grows her own vegetables in her backyard. And she serves her community. You know, my uncle last year, I lost my last uncle. He was the oldest of 15. He was the last one living out of the 15. He died at 99 years old. He got up every morning. He worked out for 2.5 hours and grind. He grew his own vegetables in the backyard. He loved to fish. He out in Oxnard, California, where he lived. He loved to fish. He would go fishing, and then he would take the fish that he bought every single day, and he would go and cook those fish and feed it to the hungry people on Skid Row. Maybe we found the fountain of youth, people. Maybe service and doing the maintenance on yourself not only helps people, but it repairs you. When you look at that word service and you think about the power of service, just don't see it as the noun, which means to help people. See the verb. See it as changing it all. See it as eating that food, that vegetables and fruit that you grow in your backyard. See it as you working out and training and repairing yourself so that you can last long in life. That's the repairing that comes from service. Number 3, my last trait is the trait of becoming. Everybody say becoming. You know, I make my players serve. This isn't what you gotta do, it's what you get to do. All right? And it's one of those things that you have to do if you're rolling with me. You have to serve. You know, this is why we serve. Every time you serve, you become better. You know, service equals trust, and trust equals promotion. I'm gonna say that one more time. Service equals trust, and trust equals promotion. Now this room is filled with business leaders, and I want you to think about who have you promoted over the years in your business. It's that guy that comes early. It's that young lady that stays late. And over time, you build trust, right? And through that trust, you start to think, who can I make the new manager? Who can I leave at this location so I can start that that other location? How can I just go home and get in my rocking chair and sit on the porch? It may be that person, that family member, or that friend that think they're just gonna get it fall out the sky, but then you go get that guy that works so hard, that serves, because service equals trust, and trust equals promotion. You know, you win when you serve. It's no coincidence that Chick-fil-A is the #1 fast food restaurant in the world. And there is a waiting list for Chick-fil-A franchises because they have put a premium on service. And it's not just serving their customers. They serve their employees. They give them Sundays off. They put them in a good environment. They pay them more than their rival Popeyes. You know, Popeyes, old dirty Popeyes. They tried to copy my buddy's Chick-fil-A. All right? Often imitated, but never duplicated. They stole the sandwich, and it was all on YouTube and everyone. And it took me months. I said, I want to try it out. You know, I was going to cheat on my friend Chick-fil-A. I just heard the hype. And I pulled up that day to Popeyes, and there was a sign on the deal after I waited 40 minutes in line. No more chicken sandwiches. Come on, Popeyes. You had one shot. You had the New Orleans flavor, but you didn't have the right systems in place. You didn't prepare yourself to serve the customers, so you missed the window of time. Don't miss the window of time. Keep serving. You know, the reason why my players and I go out and serve, because you can never come to me and say, Coach, my legs are tired. I'm feeling like we need a day off. I'm going to say, what about the kid Dylan down at St. Jude Shriner that we spent time with last week in a wheelchair, that would love to play this game, that plays vicariously through you because he can't play the game. You got legs. You had this opportunity, man. That's what service does. It's not just about help. It's not just about repairing you, but it's about who you become through the act of service. You develop some things when you serve. You develop grit. You develop grace. And most importantly, you develop growth. You gain strength, not just to serve others, but to withstand storms in your life. When we serve, we're doing maintenance on our spirit. We're staying strong, and we're building endurance, character, and longevity. That's why that man was telling me to get those oil changed, because it was creating longevity for my investment, that truck. Because life is not a sprint. It's a long journey. And service is what keeps your engine running smooth over the miles. So when you serve your community, you serve your team, and you serve your organization, you're not just making a difference out there, but you're becoming someone different in here. Let me close with this image. Each act of service, no matter how small, is a link. You know, in my hand, I just happen to keep this link with me, have it be down in this cabinet. But in my hand, I have this link. And you see this link, man, when I went got this link was $10, guys. Can you believe? We got to do something about the prices. $10 for one link. But anyway, so when I went got this link, I said, man, there's not a lot you can do with this link. It's a link, and it adds to things. It's like a paperweight. It's a circle. It's strong. But this is just a link. You know, by itself, it's just a link. But when you put those links together, it creates this chain. And I keep this chain as a symbol for my team and everything that I do. This old chain is a powerful thing. You can hook up a bus. You can pull a train with this chain. You can lock down this building with this chain. But it's only as strong. If one of these links get corrupt, this chain is worthless. That's the power of service. That's when I do my research on the Rotary Club. It's not just here local, but it's all over the world. Think about the lives that you are changing, because it's each person putting their link together, coming together, creating a powerful force. So keep on serving, Rotarians. Keep on helping. Keep repairing, and keep becoming. Because together, link by link, you're building something that will outlast all of us. You're building world changers, and you're changing lives day by day, link by link. Thank you for your time. May God bless you, and may He keep you.